What? You seriously want me to sing this? Okay. Whatever. Poop your poop. You gotta poop your poop. Poop your poop. You gotta poop your poop. He says it's the crappiest song ever written. That's right. I just read what he writes. My executive producer, Pikachu. You know, this is pre-recorded, but before a live studio audience of my stuffed animals. It's the Comics Coffee Table. I'm just the talent. Yeah, I read whatever Pika writes down. Drinka is the, runs the show. He's the union handyman, the boom mic operator, the cameraman, and the set designer. Thank you so much for your efforts here. And also the studio audience in the cheap seat. That's right, the Canadian Bear. And thank you. And you! That's right. Where would I be without you? To come to our Comics Coffee Table and enjoy this break right here, right now, whenever you can make it. We designed the show so that you can pull up a chair and grab a cuppa whenever it is time for your break, your coffee break. You need to take a break in your day. Well, take your mind off your mind, and let's talk about our hobby. Comic books. That's right. We meet here at the Comics Coffee Table. We premieres 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. The live chats usually happen. If I'm able to make it, I will. And like such as today, I have a dentist appointment. So one of you guys are in charge. Hey, you want to use wrenches? You run the show today. But yeah, I'm getting just a filling. I love my dentist. And blessed and grateful to have a good dental plan and to have a dentist who's been seeing me for over a decade. And go to your dentist, get your cleanings, and get a good toothbrush too. Upon their on their recommendations, I ended up getting the water pick. It has a rotating head, but also a water flosser in there, and I'm so impressed with that thing. And they're like, your overall gum health is dramatically increased. And I'm like, really? So that's good to know. I mean, yeah. Thank you. So we meet here 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily is when the show premieres. But you can tune in any time of the day and be part of this comic book shop style conversation. How we continue this in the comment section. So just keep it coming. And but the coffee table was always where my friends and I would congregate and hang out. There was always a stack of books on the coffee table. Probably an overfilling ashtray at the time. It was the 20th century, and just different standards. It'd be a stack of movies, a stack of video games, a stack of music, and a stack of comic books too. There would always be something we're trying to get each other to read. Floppies, trade paperbacks, graphic novels, and the such. And so it's in that spirit that we meet here, at the coffee table. I hope you brought some cookies. I made some fresh, delicious coffee. Just grab a cuppa and pull up a chair. And enjoy your break time. And take your mind off your mind. Embrace your escapism. Embrace your hobby. And that's what we do here. Usually, we're rebagging, reboarding, reboxing my entire collection. It's been a fun thing to do all year long. Almost done. I had a hernia surgery a little over 2 weeks ago. So under doctor's orders not to lift anything over 10 pounds for a few weeks at least. And I'm more than willing to do that because I'm a professional chef. And I literally throw 50-pound bags of potatoes over my shoulder several times on a Friday because it's roast potato day. But, I mean, I don't need to be pulling anything or ripping anything or damaging the delicate, great job done by my doctors and nurses. So, I'm using my rest time to rest and heal. and I can walk a mile now. That's great. It's a nice pace, you know. So I need to be able to make sure I don't get winded. It's still, you know, just a little tender, a little sore at the site of the incision. You know, gravity still having its way with some fluids. Or is this TMI? Oh, I hope not. But thank you so very much for coming to this comics coffee table. So unfortunately, I'm not lifting any long boxes, any short boxes until like next week. We'll play that by ear. And but in the meantime, we're revisiting the old show, my old format. But usually around this time of the show, I want to. It's good to remind everyone. We make the biggest stink these days about amplification and messaging and using or abusing your platform, or you should be deplatformed because you're not amplifying the correct messagings, and not you know you're not being an ally to the advocacies of the agendas and you know, you've heard it all before. So it's in that spirit I'm using my platform. I'm platforming for the local comic book shops and for them to survive, because they are local businesses. They're brick and mortar mom and pop shops, and intrinsically your comic book shop is a local bookstore. We need to keep bookstores open. They're you know, and that matters to me. So while I'm reboxing, reboarding, and rebagging my entire collection, I need supplies. Chances are you do too. I needed boards. I need bags. I need boxes. I'm migrating my collection from long boxes into short boxes. You know, the older I get, the heavier these long boxes get. So, you know, I'm at the point where, like, these long boxes have fulfilled their mission. Bravo. You're going to the great recycling bin in the sky, and as a romantic, I hope you get reborn and recycled as some pages of a comic book. Wouldn't that be nice? I think so. I'm a romantic. You can say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Thank you. Aw. So, but last year we started this show, January 1st, 2022. I wanted to do something that I wanted to make the content that I want to watch. And what I want to watch too is like basically everyone that inspired me to get here to do YouTube content. The best parts of those conversations and time spent watching their shows are when we're talking about the things that we like. I kind of just, I'm so turned off by apoplectic rage rants and really getting to the point where, like, okay, you're proving the oversensitive people right by continuing to bash things and embrace your inner 90s shock jock DJ. But it's not the 90s anymore, and it's I don't think shock jocks are a thing anymore. Well, they simply migrated, I guess, over from FM radio and AM radio to YouTube's and the internet. So, but I basically make the content I want to watch. I want to chill out. I like to have chill streams. This is the geeky chill stream you're looking for. I want to chill out. I don't want to get wound up. I want to wind down in my downtime. I work hard for a living. It can be stressful. It can be exhausting physically, and it takes up, just a proper third of my week, when not with weekends included. But I'm just tired of being wound up. And I wanted to make the kind of content I wanted to see more of and contribute to those conversations. And it did. I started getting invited to more and more shows, and it's been really nice. Just to connect with other fans and to be like, hey, you know what? It's okay to like a Stephanie Phillips book. It's okay to like a Jerry Duggan book. I don't know about Greg Pak or Alyssa Wong, but if they wrote a good book and I read it, I would still give them kudos. I won't give them money or space in my long boxes. No. But it's not all bad out there. The proof of the pudding's in the plate or in my long boxes. I go to the comic book shop every week. I'm one of those guys. I mean, I love this hobby of ours. I really do. And so we started last January, with this book. It's a hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. And this has been surfing my coffee table, our comics coffee table, ever since. And has been this constant source of comic book shop style conversations. And this is a great book. It's a 2004 Abrams Press, written and curated by Les Daniels and Chip Kidd, photographs by Jeff Spear. They're not actual comic book pages. They're photographs of aspects of Golden Age comic books. And then there's like today's date. There's the photo. There's the blurb that we read. And then we talk about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. And we did. So, since I can't lift anything heavy, we're going to quickly just return to the old show's format here while I heal. And it holds up. This is a really fun book. Let's see. Ooh, great art. Check this out. This is art by Win Mortimer from the cover of World's Finest Comics, number 64. This is May-June of 1953, just 2 years before the end of the Golden Age of comics. And according to the Overstreet Price Guide, the Golden Age has been done since 1946. There's the Atom Age that runs between 1946 and 1956. Yet, that's, it's respected, but it's not really, I don't feel that that's widely embraced. I think, so when people say the end of the Golden Age, they mean 1955, not 1946. A lot happened. The space race, the Steel Curtain, is that it? The Iron Curtain. But check it out. Beautiful Golden Age, World's Finest team. Excuse me. One sip of water later. Aha. Let's read the blurb. October the 19th. It's a boys' night out on a city street that looks familiar. Some might say this is the Broadway of a half a century ago. But there's a problem. Batman lives in Gotham City, and Superman lives in Metropolis. And both of these are versions of New York City. So exactly where is this trio taking in the sights? Gotham? Metropolis? New York? Well, as long as they're having a good time. Indeed. No idea. It's great. Yeah. And remember, lots of parts of the world in America. Sorry, Robin. Oh my goodness. No, don't cancel me on Twitter. I was holding the book. Yeah. Lots of parts of America did not look like that at the time. It was getting there, though. Indeed. But yeah, that was the end of the Golden Age in 1953. There weren't many superhero titles out. Fawcett Comics had just had to shut down because they got the pantsuit off of them by DC Comics for, trademark infringement. Their Captain Marvel was judged to be too much alike to Superman. Indeed. And, oh, I love you too, Mom. That's nice. She's happy I go to the dentist. I'm happy. You should be going to the dentist too. I'm in my dentist chair right now, getting Novocaine. That's what I'm doing. Getting a filling. It's fine, you know. Usually, eventually, I get, you know, they get replaced with porcelain caps, and yeah, I'm really happy for that. I'm watching a lot of horror movies these days. One thing I always notice is that when these people are screaming like ah, all I can do is see all the like the silver fillings in the backs of their mouths, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm so grateful and blessed that I got to do something about that. Yeah. Aw, visit your dentist. So I'm from Tales from the Spinner Rack include some early 80s, making it late Bronze Age. I don't think it's exactly Copper Age, but I mean, because Copper Age means like it's like basically post-Crisis on Infinite Earths in a way. So that's more of like 85, but Overstreet quotes it as 84. So like I said, these are replacements of comics I had back then. I remember this. Oh, look. Video game ad. 8 ways you can play Frogger. Now, we don't just talk about the video game itself, but there are how many formats? How many platforms? Atari has 3 just here alone. Seriously, the 2600, the 5200, which was brand new, that was meant to replace. It was literally twice the power of 2600 times 2600 times 2 is 5200. Okay, that's just math. Don't blame me. Then you had the Atari 400, 800, 600 XL. I had the 800 XL, but I never had Frogger. But it could play. It was weird. I mean, there was no sense of lateral compatibility. If you are an old time gamer, could you play 2600 games on a 5200? I don't think you could. And you couldn't play 2600 cartridges on the 800 XL, which I thought was a shame. But there we go. You have the poor producers that have to produce a different, plastic mold for everyone that fits. Moon Patrol for Atari. A Warner Communications company. That can be considered, this could be considered an in-house ad. Seriously. There's some indicia on that ad too. Look. Showing all the different trademarks. Ain't that something? The Commodore VIC-20. And look, a video game ad, another one for Intellivision. It was in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Wow. Let's look at the indicia. So this is from May 1984. So it would have been on the stands about February. And I'd be 11 years old. And I'll be getting this very issue of Rom the Space Knight taken away from me by a teacher in 5th grade. Public school. Oh, man. I had spent 2 years in public school. Before that, I was, I did for 1, 2, and 3 in a Catholic school where it was one of the last bastions of corporal punishment. We think the nuns could, physically restrain you and correct you with a yardstick. And this ear here, it's the cartilage ripped when I was in 3rd grade. Sister Mary Hyacinth grabbed me and twisted my ear and pulled me down the hall. At least it was on the same floor. I appreciate that. from like all the way down the hall to her office. I remember I can still feel and hear the cartilage, the crunch of the cartilage. But even during like lockdown, we all had to wear masks. My ear would just do this, and people were, a couple of my female workmates, especially, would be like, "Oh, come here, honey, let me fix that for you." I'm like, "There's no fixing that." But yeah, and the reason why I was in public school was because, it was a mutual decision to ask us to leave and to not be part of that anymore, I guess. And take our patronage in our parish down the street to St. Monica's. Now, we had to move from St. Mary's at Chesterhova in Andrew Square and go down the street with the rest of the project people. Hey. Indeed. But this is indelible to me because it's like, well, maybe this was 83. No, that was 5th grade. That was 5th grade, yeah. Look at that. I'm 11 years old, and this is a horror comic. This is sci-fi horror. Look at that. That is gross. The bare feet, the strung up people, the open eyes. They've had their life sucked out of them, being trussed up for their, you know what I mean? It is that. Wow. That was heavy duty. Let's look at their creators credits real quick. Bill Mantlo, Sal Buscema, Mel Candio, and Kelly Jones. Wow. Uh-oh. A psychic attack. Ah! And then the Space Knights jump into action. Hope you're having an awesome day. So yeah, this is from 1984. And the story of Rick Jones, professional sidekick. He's a former Bucky, former Hulk sidekick, former Avengers sidekick, former Captain Marvel's sidekick. And apparently he might be fighting cancer here because of his, proximity to Bruce Banner and radioactivity. And so, so Rick's here in the hospital and he needs, you know what I mean? That was his big thing, was like, he was like, he had his acoustic guitar and he used to write songs. He used to woo girls because girls like that kind of shit. That's what makes them girls. Yeah. But look, the dire wraiths are entering the blood for transfusions. And that's how they're going to affect their next round of human hosts. Oh. Were you exposed to gamma rays? But here's the blood. Oh, this was like so gross. What else was coming out that week? The Marvel checklist. Daredevil 206. Wow. New Mutants 15. I probably had that. Secret Wars 1. Huzzah. Wow, Spidey 252. X-Men 181. I know, I got that. G.I. Joe 23, I got in the mail. Star Wars 83. Indeed, G.I. Joe 23, yes. Oh, all my old friends. Which is kind of interesting because we're given it, there's the death of Captain Marvel, too. And that's in continuity, too. So this is just, it builds off the continuity. Now, and it could beg the question, like, but wait a second. Wasn't God Loves Man Kills out of continuity? But no, that was actually made official and shoehorned into continuity by the early aughts, especially when Chris Claremont revisited that story in God Loves Man Kills Part 2 in his Extreme X-Men, which came out around the time of the movie X2, the Hugh Jackman movie. Once again, just want to say, it's Popeye. Now, there's recently been a Popeye movie as well, but just a few years ago. So that's like, people remember that. But also, he was still a bankable news strip. People grew up on Popeye. He was very, very, very popular. But once again, you have 8 different systems over 5 different producers. We just looked at that one. So it was the month before. It's gonna have the same ads. But I got this one in a grab bag. I love my local comic book shop. They have sidewalk sales, and they have a 4-issue Bronze Age grab bag for $10. I'm a sucker for that. And I saw this one because I had this, and I'm like, okay, you got. I know who you're going with. But I wanted to show this one in particular. This is from right around this time, March of '85. So this had to have come out in December of '84, January '85. I'm 12 years old, so it's later on that year. But this is a Marvel comic, 60 cents. Here's your DC comic. They had they only sold for 60 cents for that 1 year. And they went up to 75. Superpowers action figure. It's no longer Super Friends. It's moved over to Superpowers. We've brought in Darkseid as a major nemesis. We've given... I think this is where Lex got his power suit. I love these action figures. You squeeze their legs and they make punching motions. But it's not just for Ghostbusters. It's Ghostbusters the computer game. Available on disc. It's by Activision, but it's for the Commodore 64. There you go. So you can save the city on your Commodore 64. Not your VIC-20, not your Atari 800. Just one system. Hedging bets? Maybe marketing knows that we got more, Commodore 64, owners out there. Interesting how they decide what to add. Who is Azrael? Yeah, that's a model kit. It's V-mail. Look, it's the letters column. We're still 2 issues away from receiving your letters on our premiere effort. So yeah, this is issue 2 of V. What do they have in common? Well, they're both licensed properties. Now, ROM originally, it just started off as a doll in 1978, 79. So the Marvel story was great because it was its own thing. But it dovetailed eventually into the Marvel universe. While it's not going to interact with the DC universe. Yes. I've already forgotten who is Azrael. But as we like to look, it's the editor's page and the checklist. Action Comics 565. Tech 548. Green Arrow backup story. Great place to have a Green Arrow story. In the back of Tech. World's Finest 313. All-Star Squadron. They had Earth 2 books. That was an Earth 2 book. I loved that. V number 2. America versus the JSA. So around this, pre-crisis, early 80s day, there was a lot of interest in Earth 2. breakfast cereal. But how to get you to get the breakfast cereal? Let's give you a shopping spree at your toy store. Who are these being marketed to? So early that it's not DC. It's called. This is the original title for it. Was DC Universe Crisis on Infinite Earths, where it was simply that was dropped, and it was just Crisis on Infinite Earths. But yeah, this is probably one of the first advertisements for it. Why would I want to, deprive you of some sequential art and some talking in hallways? But there is at least one kill scene. It's a superheroes role-playing game. This is tabletop. And you had these really great descriptions of the heroes, their bios, their powers, because everything dependent on the roll of the dice. And I was never into tabletop gaming. Actually, a lot of story in here. Yeah, that's about it. Not a lot. Video game ads in here. But I got this backed up with a Titan comic. From that day, from 1985, came Robotech. So this is a 2019. Wow, this is going to be 5 years old very shortly. Let's look at the indicia. This is Robotech number 24, October of 2019, off of Titan, and this was like a new kind of continuity for Robotech, I guess, and I love Robotech. I got this issue, I think it was in a dollar bin, and I only got it because, to check it out. It was so confusing. But it is part 4, wrapping up a trade paperback, or this Event Horizon trade dress. It's the end of the story. And it was the last issue, I believe, of the line. Yeah, I got it just to get it because I'm a huge Robotech fan. I really am. I'm a Robotech fan, yeah. Big Robotech fan. Awesome. Don't you fall down. You're gonna totally fall down. Isn't it? What? We're wagering? Okay. $2 says he don't. Okay. Don't push him. That's not how the... Pika. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. We've just been enjoying our coffee break together and talking about comic books. So pull up a chair, grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pal. Let's take our break together. And talk about comic books. Thank you so very much. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here through the month of October. We're doing double duty, 6 p.m. U.S. Eastern nightly. We are dropping the 31 Days of Halloween. We're doing a different horror movie every day through the month of October. It's fun. Come and join us. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.